Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. It's a much-needed off week for the Cougars as they rest up for the final stretch of the 25 season. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Woo, 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 woo.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. By the way, there's a Ute fan on the YouTube comments who took my take about Cincinnati winning by 20 points seriously.
Yeah.
I'm playing into a bit on the show because I hate the stupid Big 12 power poll. And as an excuse to rank Texas Tech low, I ranked Cincinnati high.
Yeah. You love your Bearcats.
And that turned into Christian and Ben accusing me of being a Cincinnati fan.
Mm-hmm. And now you are.
And so I'm leaning into that.
Can you say something nice about Utah to please Tracy?
Because he called me a BYU homer, right?
Yeah. I'm not hating. I'm understanding him being a fan, but Hans is a BYU announcer and is more impartial and fair. Jake is a total homer, rarely says anything positive about Utah.
I said their win was a textbook way to dominate a game. That's pretty nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is really good. Held the other team to negative yards at halftime. That was something.
I will say something negative.
Okay.
I do think we've seen the last of Isaac Wilson. His series was rough. Even in that game where it didn't matter, he hadn't played all season, I get it. You can he's slow, ball doesn't come out well. There's just no reason to play him.
Do you think this is the Freebirds' job for the next 4 years? I don't know if that's...
To be the starter?
Yeah.
No, I don't bet on that with anybody. I mean, I'm honestly not betting that.
No, but take the transfer out of it. I mean, if, he's a freshman, they're playing a freshman. Even if he finishes the season, I don't think he's the solution at quarterback for the next 4 years.
I don't know.
I am shocked. If you want to talk about Isaac Wilson, I can't believe he went back to Utah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He should never have done that. I don't know what other offers he had out there, but
that's the big question, yeah.
He should have gone somewhere else. Even if you've got to go play a JC for a year or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't understand why or how he stayed at Utah. Especially if Utah was closing the book on him.
I think Utah was probably happy to get him back just to have depth, and why not? You'd put a lot of time and probably money into recruiting him, so bring him back. It's not the worst case scenario as a third-string quarterback, but he didn't look like... he can't do it all what Jason Beck wants. That's the problem for him, is this particular offense is really poorly designed for him.
Yeah, another reason why it was crazy he came back. Why?
But, yeah, he's slow. He's not a option quarterback. Yeah.
He's not.
So it's just not going to look good. And it didn't look good. And again, it was small, and I'm not trying to nitpick Isaac Wilson at this point. He has taken more heat in the state than I'm sure he deserves. But, certainly the backup job is Byrd Ficklin's at the worst. Byrd was really good. 55 points. And I know it wasn't all him, but it's hard to score 50 points in a college football game, regardless of who the quarterback is. And he put the team in situations to have that. Now, so did Colorado, thankfully. Colorado's atrocious. But they have not looked that bad in other games so far this season, and this was probably their worst outing of the year. So you do have to give Byrd some credit there. So, no, I don't know who Utah's quarterback is next year. I don't know if it's Dampier. I don't know if it's Byrd Ficklin. I don't know if Utah's telling one of those guys to hit the road. I suspect if Dampier comes back, Ficklin goes somewhere else, because that's how college football works. He might have just made himself $1 million with the game on Saturday night because somebody was watching. The same way Devin Dampier made himself $1 million with somebody watching him play against Arizona last year in his first big-time opportunity. So that's unfortunately how the game is played. The hard part for Utah might be who are they picking between those two. Is one cheaper? Is one going to be here longer? Is one they have more belief in? I don't know.
34 minutes is how long Utah had in the ball in that game. That's a nice thing I'll say about Utah. That's a pretty dominant performance from that. But
that's amazing because of how many big plays they had. Generally, that's a team that is grinding a game out.
On your opinion about quarterbacks transferring, if I'm running a program, I'm steering clear of spending big money on transfers. quarterback. I don't think I'm doing it. And my rationale is that if they were that good, the school that had him would have paid him. Honestly, like, if they were that good, like, the Bear ain't transferring because BYU is going to pay him to stay, you know? So if you're looking at, okay, is Dampier or the Freebird going to stay at Utah and the other guy transfers, why would you spend big money on that guy? The school that had him didn't even want to keep him.
Okay, there are obvious examples of this not being the case. Penix at Washington, follows DeBoer and wins at a huge level. They go to the playoff.
But that's not a guy that had a big season at a smaller school then transferred or whatever. That was DeBoer knew he had a guy when he was at Indiana, and that guy followed him.
Ohio State paid Will Howard to leave Kansas State, and he goes and wins a national title. And Kansas State thinks, well, we've got that next guy. This is the Byrd Ficklin situation.
But that was Kansas State picking the wrong guy.
Kansas State thinks they have the better young player in Avery Johnson, and clearly they do not. Certainly not better than Will Howard.
That's picking Peter Costelli over Jackson Dart.
So there are examples where
paying big money to Keaton Slovis didn't work.
But no, to your point, BYU, I'm sure, kicked the tires on every transfer that was still available the second they realized they had a gaping hole at quarterback, and they filled it with Bear Bachmeier, who probably cost next to nothing, and now look at the level he's playing at.
And they're never going to let him go.
Certainly not. No, BYU will pay him whatever he has to stick around. Yeah. And it's going to get spendy, but there's no salary cap, so who cares?
Cam Rising didn't transfer.
Right. Yeah, Utah kept paying him.
They paid him.
Yeah.
And, if you believe the rumors about Cam Rising and what he was making as opposed to the overall budget for the football team, Utah made sure to keep him. You know what I'm saying? So I think most schools can do that when they have a guy at quarterback.
Hey man, it gets really interesting for both Utah and BYU. This gets interesting this summer, and I hate to even talk about this. That's why I hate the transfer portal. I hate NIL. I do think it's ruined college football for a lot of reasons, including this very conversation we're going to be having, not just this summer, which is who does Utah pick, because I don't think you're going to get to bring back both Devin Dampier and Byrd Ficklin. Maybe I'm overrating how I think other teams are going to view Byrd.
Honestly, they should pick neither. I don't think either one of them is the future.
And that's the other option, is maybe you have to go and find a third player who's even better.
And you know what? If Byrd actually comes out and takes advantage of an opportunity to really make some passes when they're down, I certainly reserve the right to change that opinion based on new information. But I'm not sure either one of them is the guy for next year.
But quite literally, BYU could run into this situation with Ryder Lyons and Bear Bachmeier, where Ryder is coming back off a mission. This is not a guy who's going to want to sit 2 years before he gets his opportunity to play. He is actually having a shorter mission to come back and play sooner, just as Bear is going to be going into a junior and senior year.
Well, then you tell Ride or Die Lions, good luck.
Yeah, absolutely. If Bear is this good already and continues to progress at this trajectory, you do. You just tell Ryder to hit the road.
Bird in the hand versus ball on the carpet.
Bear in the hand.
Bear in the hand.
Versus a lion in the carpet.
No, I mean, that would be an unfortunate situation for BYU to find itself in. No, I'm referencing an old drop, Christian, that you haven't heard. We should play that. Where's Salazar? We should find out if you search in there, bird
in the hand.
Bird in the hand, ball on the carpet.
Yeah, you'll find it. Yeah.
Have you heard it? Our guy Chad. I think that was like a judge playing somebody.
Regardless.
Redbird. Anyway.
Regardless.
No, that'd be unfortunate for BYU, but if you ever picked a freshman over an entrenched, two-year proven starter who's got you in the contention to win the league, and you're like, nah, we're going with the Frosh off a mission, you'd be crazy.
It is. It's where, though I don't really have a lot of faith in Sark as a coach, he was right. Quinn Ewers was better than Arch Manning.
Still is.
And did not pick Arch over Quinn because Arch is, a five-star quarterback. I'm sure Quinn was as well, but, has the name and had all this hype around him. No, he stuck with the older guy, and they convinced whoever at Texas to continue to pay Quinn Ewers to make sure he didn't leave. In fact, Quinn had transferred in from Ohio State, right? And then they kept paying him to keep him around. So, and that was clearly the right move. As would have been the case for Kansas State, they should have kept Will Howard around. I don't know if they could have afforded it with what the type of money Ohio State has to spend, but Yes, that's the situation where Utah could find themselves in this summer. And it will be really interesting to watch. But I thought Byrd was impressive in his first game. And if he has those types of tools and can improve on them, he could have a fun future.
It's easy to make those throws, though, when you're running over the other team because every pass is a wrong foot. That's what I'll be interested to see what happens with the
We may not
Freebird.
see him again the rest of the year. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Devin Dampier could absolutely come back. If he was close or probable on Friday night, whatever you believe, then, yeah, he should. I would imagine he should be available against Cincinnati. Where Utah should feel comfortable is that if they have to go to Byrd, he seems to have some weapons to be able to move the ball. You don't have to come in and just say, hand it off 3 straight times and punt, and that's your best case scenario. I do think that potentially if you were in an emergency where Dampier wasn't playing particularly well or did look like he was not at 100%, you could go to Byrd Ficklin and have some success.
Cincinnati averages 437 yards per game. Good enough, Ben, for 29th in the country.
Okay. What is Utah?
Hold on. Hold that. They're 13th in total offense.
Utah is.
Yeah. But that's obviously because of the run. Give me a second. I'll tell you where they are rushing. I think they're second or third, aren't they?
In the
Fifth.
country? In the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a true attack.
At 267 yards per game. Yeah, it's what we, I'll throw us all into this, told you was coming as soon as they hired Jason Beck.
Yeah. It is funny.
They're going to be an option offense. They're going to run and run a lot.
Yep. It has worked out well for a Witt team.
Yeah.
They're going to have 2 black eyes, losing to Texas Tech and losing to BYU, that are going to make this season feel like it was less successful than it should have been or could have been. But this is working out pretty well. The offense is really moving. Utah has not had a top 30 offense seemingly consistently for a while. Certainly when Cam Rising was there, it was good. But now having the defense playing at the level they showed they can against Colorado, and they even played well against BYU. They did not play particularly great against Texas Tech in the fourth quarter, but were pretty good through the first 3. It's a good team. But those 2 losses particularly are going to stand out and might taint the way we view this year from Witt's team.
Don't get behind Utah.
That's true.
Don't get behind. Now, good for the Bear. That should say a lot that he came back and beat Utah, but that was a little bit more of a seesaw, I think, than...
Where's BYU in total offense?
Hold on. Utah 91st, by the way, in passing. Just over 200 yards per game. You want total offense, Ben?
Yeah.
The Cougs are 34th.
What was Utah?
13th.
It's the myth, right? That's a myth. BYU has a better offense than Utah.
Yeah, Utah runs the crap out of the ball. Their problem is when they can't run it, what do you do?
Exactly.
They don't have another go-to. So it's a little bit of a myth, except for Utah really is that good running the ball.
Yes, they can move the ball that well.
But Texas Tech didn't let them run the ball.
When you can't run the ball,
what do you do?
Yeah, what do you do? And Utah doesn't really have a lot of great answers.
No.
So that's where you would certainly rather have BYU's offense and Bear Blockmeyer than what Utah has, even though Utah has a better offensive rating.
No, it's like Quinn Snyder with the pick and roll. Mm-hmm. Like when you switch against his pick and roll, what do you do now? And Quinn Snyder was like,
I'm out of ideas.
Let's keep trying to run that pick and roll,
Let's
man.
Go back to the pick and roll.
Let's do that thing.
Yeah.
Never had another
gear.
That's how Dwayne Wade put it, right?
Yep.
That's Utah. That's Utah's issue. If they get on top of you by double digits,
you're dead.
You're done.
Yeah.
And you can't stop the run, then you're not going to win.
No, Utah's having a really good season. It's just not as good as the team that's
No, they're just one-dimensional. That's it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
To get back to my Nebraska comparison of the 90s, if you could stop their triple option, they were dead in the water.
Yeah.
They were going to lose. Because Tommy Frazier isn't throwing it all over you. It's not going to happen. Brooks Bollinger isn't going to turn into Ty Detmer all of a sudden.
Yeah. Thomas Frazier, by the way.
Thomas Frazier. And Brooks Bollinger, rest his soul, I believe died in a plane crash.
Aren't you the one who always accuses me of ending the segments sadly?
Yeah, that is kind of your role. I don't know why I stepped on your toes there. Bring up a devastating death at the end of a perfectly good segment. Yeah. Plane crash. Check it out. Richie Valens style.
You want to keep going?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't think he was intoxicated like John Denver, though.
Payne Stewart, where do you want to go?
We'll have more uplifting content next. Jacob Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Let's go!
Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. It's a much-needed off week for the Cougars as they rest up for the final stretch of the 25 season. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Ben, are you working the game tonight, or are you going to go as a fan? I only ask because you can't boo the Suns on press row, and I figured you just want to get after the Suns all night. So, are you buying tickets?
For the 12th straight year, I'm going as an employee. I'm working the game.
You're not going to go.
I'm not going to be booing.
You're
the
not
Suns.
going to be booing the Suns.
No,
That's your MO.
Told you, I'm not a Suns guy, but I have liked their offseason. Now we'll see if it actually turns into anything. They have more players on their team that I truly don't recognize. Like, they had a team photo come out, and I couldn't tell you 7 or 8 of the players. I thought you were wondering if I was going as a fan because Jared Butler might be suiting up.
Oh, no, but there's just something else there.
Is he back?
I don't know. Is he?
I thought he got waived.
Oh, did he get waived?
Yeah.
Didn't make the team. That's tough.
I didn't.
Oh, no, he's going to Red Star Belgrade. Now I'm a huge Red Star Belgrade fan.
You sure are.
That's tough. He didn't make the Suns roster because this Suns roster has, like I was saying, so many guys on it you've never heard of. You have to really do your research.
Why did you like their offseason?
I'm not a huge Kevin Durant believer, and I hate Bradley Beal. And not the person, but the fit there of Bradley Beal. Uh-huh. So one of the things I really believe on a basketball court, as much as we talk about positionless basketball, is, yeah, kind of, but you do need to have players in certain – they didn't have a center last year on their team. They were trying Yusuf Nurkic, which I love watching Yusuf Nurkic with the Utah Jazz. He was also 2 of 9 in the Jazz's last game. What was he? 2 of 7? 4 of 11? Whatever he was against the Kings. He's not a starting caliber center on a team that's trying to win a championship. And that was their best player, and they had to trade a draft pick to get off of him. And they just did not have a true center on their team last year. So they had 3 guys in Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker who all basically played the same position, which is give me the ball and I'm going to do something with it. I'm going to create with it. Now at least they have Jalen Green, who's a little overlappy with Devin Booker. But Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, who's kind of a traditional 3-and-D guy, Mark Williams, who's a true center. Like, they at least have a roster that makes some sense. The Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker thing didn't make sense. So at least they've started to spread the puzzle out a little bit to understand what is actually there. It doesn't mean they're good, and I don't expect them to be good, but I do think teams need to have some of the right pieces in place to be able to do certain things like rebound basketballs, play defense.
It's funny. The reason I ask you why you like their offseason is because this team stinks.
They're not good.
This team stinks. This roster stinks. They're wasting Devin Booker.
They are.
And so I wanted to hear your argument because that's not. I don't buy into your argument. Let me put it that way. Just because, like, I told you about a particularly bad Senate campaign in Virginia 25 years ago where all the candidates were just dreadful.
Yeah.
So if your argument that you like their offseason because their previous rendition was so horribly bad that just being different is somehow better, yeah.
Okay, I'll listen to that. I think that's totally fair.
You're asking way too much out of Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen, for example.
No, you're right. Like they're a bad team.
They stink.
If you were to pull up the Suns stats, I think their leading shooter in both 2 games, meaning attempted shots, is Dylan Brooks. He's taken the most shots in both of their games so far.
Because you're kind of like the angle I was going to go with.
They played 3 games.
The angle I was going to go with this segment is, if a player is loyal to your franchise, what do you owe that player? Like, Devin Booker is the ultimate Phoenix guy, right? Yes. He's said that, and he's said he doesn't want to go anywhere. So what do you owe that guy? Like, what did they owe Damian Lillard for being loyal? Mm-hmm. And eventually Dame got the Supermax and all that stuff, but they never put a team around. Like, this is totally wasting Devin Booker. In fact, Devin Booker's presence on this roster is actually bad for the franchise.
Yes.
It is. It is. So what do you owe him?
Their only ticket out is trading Devin Booker.
That's it. So what, great, he's loyal to the Suns, but what are you going to do about it? Surround him with Dillon Brooks? You just spit a spicy hot take at me that Dillon Brooks is somehow better than they were last year.
Here's the problem right now with, how this team is built. Do you have their stats pulled up right now?
Yeah, I can.
What's your guess on how many shots should Dillon Brooks ever take in a game? And Jazz fans should be familiar with Dillon Brooks. He was on the Memphis Grizzlies team that the Jazz beat in that first round series in the Gentleman's Sweep. He's an instigator.
If I'm seriously answering the question, 8 to 10.
Okay.
And they should only be threes.
Yes, I want you to pull up his stat line. I want you to see how many shots per game he's taking right now.
Hang on 1 second.
Sorry to not have the most exciting radio of Jake Googling things right now.
You're good.
But Devin Booker, for reference, one of the great scorers in our league right now, is averaging 15 field goal attempts a game.
Oh, God, I'm on the wrong side.
15 field goals attempts a game. I'll just tell you.
Yes.
Dillon Brooks is averaging 19.7 shots a game right now.
That's not a serious thing.
It's not.
This isn't a serious team.
That was prime Donovan Mitchell numbers. Donovan Mitchell was taking 19 shots a game, and even then everyone was like, that's crazy. That's a lot of shots, Donovan.
You better be Donovan Mitchell if you're taking 19 shots a game. You know what I mean? You better be at least that good.
And the Jazz, truthfully, did not have, unfortunately, because they had, with all due respect, Royce O'Neal next to him, or Grayson Allen next to him, or Rudy Gobert, who doesn't create shots, next to him. Donovan still was taking too many shots. Some of them probably should have gone to a Bojan Bogdanovic or maybe even a Mike Conley. But he was taking a lot of shots. Dillon Brooks is taking that many shots now with the Phoenix Suns team that are terrible. But, yeah, that's how, unfortunately, poorly this is working out early on.
Criminal. 19 shots a game. I would cut Dillon Brooks today just because he had the lack of shame to take 20 shots a game.
I do like that they were willing to move off of how bad everything was, and they swallowed a very tough pill of
You
pain.
undersold it. It's 19.7.
Yeah, 19.7.
And his points per game average is only 19.3.
Yeah, he averages fewer points per game than shots.
They should
It's crazy.
They should release him today. They should leave him in Utah. That's what I would do.
Don't leave him here.
No,
Leave him somewhere else. Yeah. Where's their layover?
I'm not saying he has to play for the
where's
team.
Where's the common layover between Phoenix and Salt Lake? On
Vegas?
a chartered flight. Don't leave him in Vegas either.
Cedar City.
I had a friend
there
who tell
you
me.
go.
Yeah, Cedar City's good. That's where the other criminals go. So that's where I'd live.
True?
No.
Was Christian going to school down there just to hide from the law?
Yeah, it's Utah's Australia.
Cedar City?
You just dump them down there.
Not even Gunnison. You're going to Cedar City.
So
I only bring up Gunnison, by the way, because there's a prison there. I'm not trying to drag any community.
sometimes you have to break things down before you can start to rebuild them. Unfortunately, they are doing a half step. The full breakdown includes trading Devin Booker. They have to trade him, and they have to, try and get their own picks back, which, again, this is where the Jazz kind of picked their pocket. Remember the Jazz traded their three worst future first-round picks from the Cavs or the Timberwolves for the one future unprotected Suns pick. Because the Suns have dug themselves such a hole.
Are not a serious franchise.
They can't get out of it, and they don't own any of their draft picks going forward. They have traded them for Kevin Durant or Bradley Beal and pick swaps on top of it. So they truly don't control their own. So you can't even tank because then you don't have your picks. So there's no value in tanking. They have painted themselves in a corner that, yes, the only way out is trading Devin Booker and trying to get either good young players back who are going to be your foundation or try and somehow get your picks back in those trades.
By the way, not only would I cut Dillon Brooks, but I'd probably fire Jordan Knott too. And I know he's only 3 games in.
But he's letting this happen.
But he's letting Dillon Brooks take 20 shots a game. That means that you're not qualified to be a head coach in the NBA.
Suns injury report.
I would honestly rather have Devin Booker double his shots.
Yes, of course. He should be shooting 30 times a game.
Maybe more. What is he taking?
15.
Yeah.
A very respectable number.
He needs to be taking way more. On this tub? Come on.
Good news, Dillon Brooks, because of a right groin strain, soreness from shooting too much, is questionable tonight. Jalen Green is out. He's got a hamstring strain, so there will not be a Jalen Green tonight. But yeah, this is a disaster for the Suns. This has been a disaster. The second they traded for Kevin Durant, the disaster began, and they didn't see it coming. And I get it. It's exciting. You get Kevin Durant. It's flashy. But they gave up too much to get him. Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson and all their draft picks. And then when it wasn't working, they doubled down to go get Bradley Beal, which nobody thought was a good idea. But somehow they convinced themselves it was the right move. And then they have lost both of those trades for the most part to get those guys to go away. Because who did they get for Kevin Durant? Dylan Brooks. And what did they get for Bradley Beal? Nothing. They have to pay him for the next 4 years because they stretched his contract.
Man, that owner is a huge bozo.
Huge bozo.
Huge bozo.
Yeah.
We should have listened to the Cleveland Cavs guy who wouldn't vote for him. Remember that?
Uh-huh.
They hate each other because they're rivals in the mortgage industry.
Uh-huh. Yeah. What is the Cavs guy's name? But either way, yeah,
I always want to say
both mortgage billionaires.
I always want to say Gordon Gund, but that was the owner before the current guy. We're looking for the guy who cried about LeBron leaving,
Gilbert.
not the Dan Gilbert. Yeah, not the blind guy that Carlos Boozer lied to.
Yeah.
I always thought that was a random part of that story to make it sound like worse. You know what I mean?
Dan Gilbert's worth $22 billion. That's real money. So, but that's the thing with the injury report for the Jazz. Good news. Yes, Isaiah Collier remains on it, but Ace Bailey, we'll see. We'll see if he gets moved back into the starting lineup.
The Jazz just need somebody to play well. Honestly, to get back to that against the Kings, nobody played. Walker Kessler disappeared against the Kings. Just disappeared.
And Nurkic, Taylor Hendricks, and Ace Bailey were all really bad off the bench. I wonder if Ace needs to be surrounded by better players. And it's only been 2 games, and he is coming off of an illness.
I'm not worried about Ace Bailey.
I'm certainly not worried about him.
And you know what? I always hated that argument, too, that he needs to be surrounded by better players. He needs to be better.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. Yeah, he does. He needs to play better.
Be better.
But
all right.
I do think he showed that in his 2 preseason games. It's preseason. You know, again, Jared Butler lit up preseason one time for the Jazz. It's not indicative of what you're going to do in the regular season. But I do think he can. I think what you've seen these first 2 games from him have been a result of being sick last week. And we'll see if he's able to get, because he just hasn't had the energy on the court.
Can I tell you, though? I don't care. It's 2 games.
Yeah, of
it's
course.
2
And
games
it's 2
into the
games.
season. He's
Right.
still a rookie.
Yeah.
I know that he was a highly touted prospect. I know that he was the 5th pick. I know that the topic on the show all year long is going to be, can he become a star? Can he be famous? Can he be a big success? But after 2 games, who cares? Like, he can go scoreless in the next 10 games, and I'm not going to care. Players need the latitude to develop. That's why we hated the take on Cody Williams all last year.
Yeah.
And I feel bad Cody's not cracking into the rotation.
Yeah.
But
He'll get in at some point.
But it's just not fair. Ace Bailey or not. I mean, it's not fair. Cooper Flagg, it's not fair. And by the way, on the other side of it, I don't care how many points VJ Edgecombe scored.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You got a long way to go. I watched what was that point guard's name from Philly that won Rookie of the Year and was out of the league 15 minutes later?
Michael Carter Williams.
Tariq
Evans. Averaged 25 and 5 his first season.
Hot dog can come in and score 30 in an NBA game when given the opportunity.
On the flip side, though, not to go against what we're saying or talk out of both sides of our mouth, Walt Clayton has looked very good. Walt Clayton was really solid against Sacramento.
Well, Walt Clayton's 105 years old.
He is older.
So it does help that
he's played a lot of basketball.
Maturity is a thing.
Yeah, he's 23 years old. He's played a lot of basketball in his life. He's 4 years older than Ace Bailey, and he was playing not just good college basketball, elite college basketball. You know, point guard on the national championship team is playing at a really, really high level.
And point guards come into the league more ready to play. That's always true because you have to be way more skilled of a basketball player to play point guard.
Yeah.
If you're 6'8", you're going to make the team no matter how skilled you are. And
And
so a lot of times big guys have further to go, and they develop differently. I mean, it takes a while to learn how to be skilled when you're big and tall and gangly.
Yeah. And Ace is still pretty gangly.
Yeah.
He will look like Taylor Hendricks eventually, but he does not right now. And this is what Walt's going to get in better shape. He's going to get stronger. He's not putting on more weight. This is what Walt Clayton's going to look like. He's not going to get taller. He's not going to fill out a whole lot more. He'll get more muscly, but he's not waiting for his body to arrive. He's there. He's
also not going to get any better. Ace Bailey is...
I'm not sure I'd say he's not going to get better, but I get what you're saying.
For the purposes of this conversation, yeah, no, everybody can get better.
Sure.
But my point is he's a lot closer to his ceiling than Ace Bailey.
Yes. Yeah, he literally 4 more years of his life he's played basketball. So yeah, give at least 3. Give Ace 3 more years and see where he is. That's where Walt Clayton is today.
Right.
So,
but no, I mean, the nasty truth of basketball, if Ace were 6'1", and at the same skill level he is now,
not the league.
he'd be in Europe.
Yeah.
So that's the hard part. But if you're 6'1" and you're going to make it in the NBA, unless you're Trey Burke, you're super skilled.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I say that because my knock on Trey always was he was good at a lot of stuff, but he wasn't great at anything. And in fact, he was bad at defense.
Yeah, he was actively bad at a few things.
Yeah. So, but he didn't Allen Iverson was 6'1", but he was the fastest guy on the floor with amazing handles, right? If you're going to be that small, you have to be super good at something. Spud Webb was incredibly athletic.
Yeah.
Anyway, Trey Burke, not good at anything.
Not good at anything. Yeah. You know what? Keontae George is going to a problem he's going to have to run into. His defense is getting better. He's playing a lot harder on defense. When he's done that, he's looked better.
His defense is way better.
If he still only shoots 5 of 15, he's not a starter, certainly.
And that's
he may not
Isaiah
be an NBA,
Collier's
He may not be an NBA player.
Right.
It's really tough. That's how tough the league is, Those first 2 years, you got some wiggle room. You're getting better. He's certainly shown plenty of flashes. You look at his box score on Friday night, and Keontae George has 18 points and 10 assists, and you're thinking, wow, he's really playing well. But 5 of 15 will keep you out of the NBA. And he's done that a lot in his career. So,
got to figure it out.
Yep. And if he doesn't, Walt Clayton's ready to take his job.
He's way better defensively, though.
He's playing a lot better.
He's playing a lot better defensively. And his whole demeanor is way better.
It is.
Like he's a team guy. He's talking strategy on the sidelines. He's playing hard.
Talked to him last week after the season opener when they beat the Clippers. And, yeah, he said, my locker room clean out with the Ainges and with Will was very blunt. And he said the first thing he said was, I have to grow up. He recognized
Which was always true about him.
Yeah, good for him for listening. That'll be good for him in all aspects of his life.
I totally agree. Yeah, 100%. All right, wrapping up the show. Coming up next, Jacob Ed, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Talking sports. They got him matrix and on soul. Loves his tie-dye Ben's got style with his scarves. Oh my.
Jake and Ben, want to remind you can nominate the youth sports volunteer for the Hercules Hero of the Week. Submit your nomination at kslsports.com/contest, then listen every Thursday to JJ and Alex for the winner. Help us celebrate the efforts of those volunteers making an impact with the Hercules Hero of the Week, sponsored by Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals. Ben, we haven't even talked about what's probably the biggest story of the day nationally, and that's LSU has separated Brian Kelly from his job.
Yeah.
Paying him, what was the payout? $56 million to go away, which is just wild. I saw the best tweet, and I can't remember exactly how it was phrased, but Brian Kelly can kill a kid and keep his job, but lose 3 SEC games and you're out.
You're out, yeah.
And they say, it's just different here. Terrible hire to begin with.
Yeah, bad.
Huge bozo. I've never heard anybody on the inside, Ben, I don't know about you, but I've never heard anybody inside college football say a good thing about Brian Kelly.
No, he's not a guy who's universally really well liked. We know enough people who have traveled, covered people, interact with teams. Yeah, no one's ever been like, oh, actually, he's really cool. He's
I've got
a cool guy behind the scenes.
Friends that are kind of in the Notre Dame universe, and they were thrilled the day that he took the LSU job.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Thrilled. And do you remember that stupid video he did when he first got there where he's
with the recruit?
With the recruit where he's doing the eye thing and
remember his fake accent?
Yeah,
the fake accent. That's the phony.
Yeah,
huge phony. And you know what doesn't resonate anymore? Phonies. People don't. Authenticity is at a premium. I mean, Ben, I think you and I try to do a pretty authentic show. I think people are getting our authentic selves. I hope so. I mean, that's kind of the point. And when we talk about behind the scenes stuff and we talk about our inside jokes and how we tease Christian or Lloyd or whatever, we authentically don't like Lloyd.
Right.
It's true. We're being honest about that.
Christian is authentically late with his drops. All
the time. Lloyd does run this place like a Portuguese dictator. That's why we call him Salad. That is true. That is authentically the case.
Brian Kelly's first year at LSU, 10-4. Second year, 10-3. Third year, 9-4. This year, 5-3. So,
$56 million.
One with some other guys. One with Ed Ogeron's recruits. That was never Ed's problem. Ed could recruit. Ed could get players. Not that they were necessarily great his last couple of years there either, but Ed has been a good recruiter throughout his career. Brian Kelly takes over, gets to the Citrus Bowl that first year, but really fell apart. And
But it did make me think, like, if I were LSU and I'm going out to get a new coach, I'm done with retreads. I'm done with old school guys. You know why, Ben? The rules totally changed.
they have.
So why would Brian Kelly, who was kind of successful at Notre Dame, why would he automatically be a guy? I want an innovator. I want somebody who's going to do it with these new rules the right way. There's no guarantee that if Nick Saban took another job that he'd be any good.
No, you want an innovator like Stinkin' Riley. That's what we're looking for.
No. In fact, I don't even care if my head coach knows how to coach football. That would not even be in the top 10 priorities. I can find some idiot who can do X's and O's. You need somebody who's a fundraiser, probably first and foremost, a PR person, like all these things that are way more important now in college football than actually coaching.
You're describing Dion.
Maybe. Maybe.
He's picking a bad year to have a bad year at Colorado. Not that I don't think a team would hire him if they could. I don't think LSU would or Penn State would or Florida would. It is funny. You're going to hear, and I don't think he's going to take a job at all. I think he's in the perfect spot. I think he knows he's in the perfect spot. Kalani's going to be a hot name, and deservedly so. Kalani is a young coach. He's 50, but he's a young coach who wins at a high level, has absolutely incredible culture. He develops his players. Everybody loves him. Donors love him. Fans love him. The players love him. He does nothing but win. He is the perfect candidate for a lot of these jobs. He's never going to leave BYU. I would be absolutely shocked if he ever even thought about it.
I could see Kalani leaving BYU. I don't know if it would just be for anything.
No, he's not going to just say, well, this job's open, I'm going to take it.
Like Urban Meyer, when he left Utah, he was leaving. In just your normal job cycle, he was taking something.
Whatever the best job was,
whatever the best job was, he was going to take it. I don't think that's Kalani.
I agree.
I think that he would be choosing. I mean, if USC tried to hire Kalani, I bet he'd take it. I'm just picking
Oregon.
If Oregon
maybe,
tried to hire Kalani, he'd be crazy not to take it.
I agree, and I still don't know if he would, in all honesty. I'm with you, though. There are a couple of jobs, I would stay west.
Yeah, for sure.
And those are the only two, and maybe Washington, 3 jobs that I would
never take UCLA.
Seriously consider.
I don't like if.
It's Oregon, it's Washington, or it's USC, and I don't know if those are better than BYU for Kalani.
Or I could see staying in the Midwest or something like that. I mean, if Texas ever tried to hire,
sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if Texas calls. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think Kalani's leaving for LSU, nor do I think LSU would hire Kalani necessarily.
Agreed.
But he's the type of coach, to your point, that I would look at if I were those big programs. Because the old geezers, the Mustache Pete's, won in a different world. Everything changed. It'd be like signing Nolan Ryan back in the day if Major League Baseball outlawed the fastball.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you took away what made him good.
The only thing
it's like a different world. They totally changed the rules on you. It's why old geezers got out.
Well, and it's probably even why a guy like Lane Kiffin is having a bit of a rebirth. Now, I think Lane's just a good coach, but he can adapt to this.
For this.
He can do this.
Yeah, and he will take one of those jobs.
Yeah, he will.
And he is very funny.
Yeah, but he's authentic, to your point. He went through I don't know if he was even inauthentic early in his career, but he made all of his mistakes, and now he's done nothing but own them, face first, publicly, and that authenticity has paid off for him.
You know what I think? I think Lane did what Karl Malone could never do, and that's like everybody. He's going to be a villain no matter what. He could have, he got raked over the coals about his divorce on Comedy Central. I mean, he was going to be. People decided what they thought about Lane Kiffin, and it wasn't good, and he really leaned into it. He said, "I don't care."
Yeah.
And then I'm automatically going to have the reputation as a coach that gets out in the middle of the night, so I'm going to lean into that. I'm going to take whatever job's open.
Yep.
I like Lane Kiffin.
So do I.
What was the name of that idiot comic that made fun of him?
Tosh.
And it was funny.
It was really funny, and he looks a little bit like Lane.
But can you imagine sitting at home watching that skit? Wasn't it basically making fun of that he treats his family badly? Wasn't that the whole premise of the skit? Is that he yells at his kids? Be like, I can't escape this. I might as well be guy that everybody throws a spitter at when they're trying to walk off the field.
Yeah.
Which is a thing that happened.
The Crimson Corner.
All right, stay tuned. Hanson, Scotty G are coming up next.
Thanks, Christian.
We'll talk to you tomorrow on Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.